Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, St. Mary woman charged with arson. A 26-year-old from St. Mary has been charged with arson in connection with a fire that gutted a two-bedroom house in St. Andrew on Thursday. The accused, Kimana Dawson of Mason Hall District, was formally charged by detectives assigned to the St. Mary Police Division following investigations into the June 12 blaze on Blackwood Terrace. According to the Constant Spring Police, a fire broke out about 3 p.m. A woman reportedly awoke to the sound of a scream and soon realized her home was engulfed in flames. The police and the fire department were called to the scene, and an investigation was launched into the circumstances surrounding the incident. Detectives say it was later revealed that Dawson was responsible for setting the fire. She was taken into custody and subsequently charged following a question and answer session with investigators. Landscaper charged after cash, ganja and the cigarettes seized in St. Mary raid. A St. Mary man is facing multiple charges following the seizure of a larger quantity of cash, ganja and uncustomed cigarettes during a targeted pre-dawn police operation in the Highgate area on Saturday. The accused has been identified as 36-year-old Demar Wallace, a landscaper from Siding in Highgate. According to the St. Mary Police, officers found the items while searching a house in the presence of the occupants in the Siding community. The operation led to the discovery of a substantial amount of Jamaican and United States currencies, several cartons and boxes of uncustomed cigarettes, and multiple packages of vegetable matter resembling ganja. As a result, Demar Wallace was arrested and later charged with the possession of ganja, dealing in ganja, and the possession of uncustomed goods, said Senior Superintendent Anthony Wallace, commanding officer for the St. Mary Police Division. He added the St. Mary Police remain resolute in their mission to rid communities of criminal elements and continue to encourage residents to report suspicious activities. 2 men charged for murder in Garden Pen, Spanish Town. The St. Catherine North Police have charged 2 men in connection with the murder of a 19-year-old student in Garden Pen, Spanish Town last week. Sandre Walker was fatally shot on Taylor Road, Garden Pen last Friday. Those charged in connection with Walker's murder are 22-year-old Mikey West, otherwise called Ashan, and the 20-year-old Jamari Daly, a vendor of Diamond Avenue, Eltham Park. It is reported that at 9:30 p.m., Walker was sitting with a group of people when West and Daly approached them with handguns. West reportedly pointed the firearm at a man among the group with whom he had an altercation earlier that day. Daly also pointed his firearm at the man. A tussle ensued between the man and Daly, followed by several explosions, during which the man was shot in the right thigh and Walker in his abdomen. Both accused then fled the scene. The wounded men were taken to hospital, where Walker died while being treated, and the other man was admitted in serious condition. The accused men later surrendered to the police. St. James Police reaping results as murders and shootings decline. The leadership of the St. James Police is supporting a significant reduction in murders and shootings in the parish over the last few weeks. Speaking on Thursday at the monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations, Linroy Edwards, said the St. James Police have implemented measures targeting gangs, lottery scammers, and the violence producers in the parish. This, he said, has resulted in a 45% reduction in major crimes, the capture of wanted fugitives, and the seizure of millions of dollars from lottery scammers. DSP Edwards said St. James, which was labeled as the murder capital of Jamaica, has recorded only 2 murders over the last 7 weeks. He noted that Operation Storm, relaunched last month to crack down on criminal activities, has been reaping the required results.
Last week we had major operations across the parish. We conducted 14 raids, resulting in 8 arrests, 11 vehicles, including iron vehicles, seized, and over $31 million was seized. And other investigations are continuing, and these operations will continue. Also for June, we have recovered 7 firearms. I remember today is the 12th of June, right? 102 rounds of ammunition. We are well trained, well equipped, and highly motivated to take on these criminals. But we don't intend to see Montego Bay going back to the days of bloodletting and bloodshedding across the parish. And as Barry Salmon would say in one of his most popular songs, no shots are firing and no blood is running. I believe, and Councillor Charles Sinclair can support me on this, that the communities should benefit in terms of party permits. Flankers, they have organized themselves and approached the police, and we have facilitated them as it relates to party permits. Because I believe that we need to give back to the communities. So I want to encourage all the communities to ensure, I want to encourage all the communities to come together, and form this bond and partnership with us so we can rid the communities of these gangsters and ensure that commerce and nightlife entertainment continues.
Haitian man who arrived with a group in Portland tested positive for malaria. One of the 42 Haitians who landed in Long Bay, Portland on May 18 and were returned on May 20 tested positive for malaria. This was disclosed by the medical officer of health for Portland, Dr. Sharon Lewis, at Thursday's monthly meeting of the Portland Municipal Corporation. Dr. Lewis said the Haitians were processed at the Port Antonio Hospital, where health checks were conducted. She said the positive result for malaria in an adult male was returned 2 days after he was repatriated. Dr. Lewis said the man displayed no symptoms of the virus.
I wish to use this opportunity to remind the public that malaria in a person from a country where the disease is endemic often presents with mild symptoms, and as in that case of that man, it may present with no symptoms. In this case, the male had no symptoms. That is why we warn our citizens to alert the police and the health team when persons who are not Jamaicans arrive by boat on our shores without going through the official ports. These persons should be assessed immediately after their arrival so that we can take the necessary public health measures to protect our citizens from the possible introduction or reintroduction of infectious diseases to our country.
Search continues for missing 14-year-old girl from Spanish Town. Another alert has been activated for 14-year-old niece Ann Bailey of Cashmere Drive, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, who has been missing since Wednesday, June 11. She is of dark complexion, medium build, and about 160 centimeters or 5 feet 3 inches tall. Reports from the Spanish Town police are that Nissan was last seen wearing a pink blouse and a pair of leggings. All efforts to locate her have proven futile. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Nissan Bailey is being asked to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2305, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Robinson rejects the First Rock's demand for another apology and a compensation. Opposition spokesperson on finance Julian Robinson has rejected the legal demands of First Rock Real Estate Investments, which is seeking another apology and a compensation. The issue stems from comments Mr. Robinson made following the announcement by Sagicor Bank that it had placed the lands under mortgages for the Hambani Estate development granted to First Rock into receivership. The opposition spokesman was forced to remove the social media post and apologize upon realizing that a claim made about the investment firm was not accurate. First Rock, through its attorney Jalil Dabdoub, is now seeking an undisclosed sum for damages. But in a response on Thursday, Michael Hilton KC, who is representing Mr. Robinson, rebuffed the First Rock's claims that his client maliciously made the post and that it was circulated to bring political benefit to himself. Mr. Hilton said once the sole error was recognized, the social media post was removed, and an apology issued via that media and the traditional media and broadcast to a much wider audience. He said a private apology was also issued to First Rock, along with a confirmation that the original post had been deleted. The attorney noted that, but for the error, which was corrected, the social media post was a fair comment on a matter of significant public interest. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.